Hello, today I'm going to be talking about cellular immunity and humoral immunity. I'm going to start with cellular immunity. As the name implies, it has to do with cells attacking infected cells. Now, this is a type of adaptive immunity because first it has memory, so it recognizes the antigen from before. It's specific, so it doesn't attack all antigens in general, but that one specifically, which has been prepared to recognize, and also it's systemic, which means it's not localized to a specific area, but it works all over. Okay, now there's four main types of cells involved in this. There's the cytotoxic cell, it's also called T8 or CD8. This is in charge of the major attack. There's the helper cell, which is also called T4 or CD4, and this helps the cytotoxic cell orchestrate the attack. There's a regulator cells, which basically after the attack, it limits the activity of the cytotoxic cell, and the memory cell, which is for memory, like I said, recognizing the antigen previously. Now, this cellular immunity happens in four stages. The first stage is recognition. So the antigen presentation, you have the APC, which is the antigen presenting cell. So this cell is going to phagocytize the antigen and it's going to present it on the surface on a protein. It's called MHC. It stands for major histocompatibility complex. There's 1 and 2. One is in all nucleated cells, and it's like a tag that says, "Here I am, come and kill me." And the other one is MHC2. So it presents the antigen, and it is mostly on APC cells. And so the second part of this one is the cell activation. So for this one, I have a chart right here. So this is a virus, but it could be any antigen. So then this APC cell phagocytizes the antigen, and it presents it on the surface of the MHC. Now a helper cell comes along, and the receptors bind, they attach. Now these go through a cell division. They go through divisions, and they produce effector cells and memory cells. Okay, so this is the activation. Now for the attack, you have the infected cell, and again it's gonna be presented on the surface. The receptors on the T cell are gonna come along, and they're gonna bind, kind of like produce an anchor. They say like dock. And once this happens, it's gonna produce some chemicals. Some of the chemicals produced is gonna be perforins, which basically are going to attach to the membrane. It's going to rupture it, and the grammasigns are going to come in and going to lyse it. Also, interferons are going to be another chemical that is going to be produced, and this is going to alert the other cells of what's going on. And also the NFT, which basically is specific for cancer cells. Okay, so this is the attack. And the last stage is memory. So memory, basically, there's like a T cell recall in which it says, oh, we recognize this guy from before. So since they're already programmed, so then the attack is faster than the first time. And the time of illness is hardly none to none because it acts very, very fast. Okay, so this is about cellular immunity. Now I'm going to talk about humoral immunity. Now, humoral has to do with B cells, but the B cells do not attack the infected cells themselves. The B cells produce antibodies, and the antibodies are going to do the work. So for this, I have a picture right here. And again, also, we have three stages. We have the recognition, we have the attack, and we have the memory. So first, in the recognition, so you have here right here, the B cell is hard to see upside down. Yes, the B cell. So the B cell, again, is gonna, there's a term called endocytosis. So basically, it's gonna ingest the antigen, it's gonna produce it on the surface. Because of course, first the antigen comes along, the receptors are gonna recognize it, it's gonna bind. Then it's gonna endocytosis, the process, and then it's gonna present it in the complex. The complex is right here. Then the B cell usually stops right there and it will not continue, but then it needs the help of the T cell. The T cell comes along, and with the receptors it binds. So when this binding happens, the B cells are going to produce, I'm sorry, the T cells that are bound to the B cells are going to produce interleukins, and the interleukins are going to create, they're going to produce, or they're going to invoke the production of the cells. So you have the plasma cells right here that they're going to produce antibodies, and then you have the memory cells. Now, the antibodies are right here, the ones that are going to produce, and those are the ones that are going to do the action. Okay, how are they going to do this? Well, they're going to do it by neutralizing. So the antigens have like active parts in the antigens, so that's why the parts are going to be neutralized. Then there's also complement fixation. Now, complement fixation, what it's going to do is the complement is going to come along, and it's going to be many steps, but basically on the membrane of the cell, it's going to do certain things like inflammation, phagocytosis, cytolysis, many things that it's going to create that's the way it's going to attack the cell. Then there's also agglutination, in which the cells, the infected cells, are going to clump together with the antibodies. That's agglutination. And then the last one is precipitation, in which the antibodies and the antigens are going to form a complex. Now, this is the attack, okay? That's the way they attack on the humoral. The last thing I'm going to talk about is the last stage, which is memory. So basically, you have two responses. The primary response is when it encounters the antigen for the first time. So it produces immunoglobulin M first, and then the G gets produced. But this is the first encounter. Then the secondary response, it already recognizes it. So it's going to produce IgM and IgG2, but the IgG is going to spike. And also what I want to say about this is going to be a lot more faster, because of course it says, hey, I know this guy, let's go attack him. He's been here before and we already know who he is. So, okay, so that's all I have to say about both immunities. Okay, thank you, bye.